You know when one of your dearest, bestest friends finally finds their person, it's the one who loves and respects them the way that you always wish somebody would, and then they get engaged and suddenly it's less than a month before the wedding and you need to decide on a dress to make? Hello and welcome back to the June May channel. My name is Paula Jean and I am really excited to go to this wedding next month. It's for one of, like I said, one of my dearest friends, Quincy. We're all part of a really objectively amazing friend group. We're really kind of a soul family, and we don't all get the chance to get together in one place all the time. We're all kind of spread out and in different cities and everybody's busy. So this is going to be a really great event on many levels. Also, September and the fall is my favorite time of year in Montreal. That said, at any given time of the year, the weather can be super unpredictable, like at the best of times. But the ceremony is going to be taking place in the gallery space of a theater where we have all worked and watched each other work. And then the reception afterwards is going to be in a private banquet room of a restaurant. So everything is going to be indoors. And so even though when I looked at the extended weather forecast for Montreal, it is a roller coaster, I don't think we'll be too affected by the weather. Also, they don't really have a theme. They have just said, come and wear whatever you want. We just want people to be comfortable and have fun. I like to dress up for things. Obviously, I don't want to upstage the grooms or anything like that. But I've decided that what I want to wear is something that's sort of fitted, but still comfortable enough to sit and eat and dance in. So I have miraculously narrowed it down to 2 dresses. So I'm going to share with you the fabrics that I have and the patterns that I'm thinking of pairing with them. Oh, and before I take you through my fabrics and patterns, it has been pointed out to me that I have been sort of lax about telling you what I'm wearing in my videos. So the top that I'm wearing right now is the Azure top from Closet Core Patterns. I was not a tester for this, but they did send me an advanced copy of the pattern. I think it came out earlier in the summer, and I made it out of a remnant of this, I think it's a cotton and linen blend, this orange fabric. And then I took pieces of random linens and things that I have from previous projects, and I pieced them together, did some hand stitching on them. And this is actually the facing that's supposed to go on the inside, and I just put it on the outside. So that's what I am wearing today. Let's go through the fabrics and the patterns. The first fabric is this really sweet and moody, lightweight cotton sateen. It doesn't have a whole lot of sheen to it, but the hand is kind of smooth like a cotton sateen is. And I actually only realized when I took it out, I've had this for about 3 years, and when I took it out and was washing it and stuff and just kind of pulling on it, and it has a little bit of stretch in it, which I didn't realize when I first got it. This came from the fabric store, the one in New Zealand. And if you saw my previous video on the Cara dress and the fabulous viscose tigers, that is the same store. This really caught my eye because I love colors that are kind of difficult to define. So this background of a plummy, browny, muted purplish color looks a little bit different in different lights, really kind of sang to me. And then it's got this all over print in black of these silhouettes of various vintage hats. And I'm not usually like a whimsical print person, but there is something about the moodiness of the color combinations, like you really kind of have to be right next to the fabric to see what these are. So I thought the whimsy and the color combination made it look kind of sophisticated, and I don't see that very often, so I found that really intriguing. I also feel, partly because of the vintage character of the hat print, I've always thought that this would look good in like a 40s style dress. And so for that reason, I am thinking of pairing this with the Lark frock by Lydia Naomi. It's fitted through the torso. It's got darts in the front, and it's got optional darts in the back. So you can either do fisheye darts, or you can not do the darts and you can have a waist tie that ties in the back, and you can use that to adjust the fitting. It flares out into either in a knee length or midi length kind of A-line skirt. And it has 2 sleeve options. One is a cap sleeve, and the other one is kind of a full poofy sleeve that ends at the elbow. And I find it really neat because the 2 sleeves just make the dress look completely different. And then, of course, the highlight is that lovely little keyhole neckline. And then it's got underbust gathers that go into a curved underbust seam. I think this dress is super cute. I have always seen this in like a very vintagey fabric, like a cream on black or black on cream polka dot, which I've been keeping my eye out for. But I also think that this fabric would really look fabulous in this pattern. And I would be doing the cap sleeve for this one. So that is my option number 1. Deuxième option is also a cotton sateen. This one is a little bit heavier, but still only a mid-weight. And it's this lovely cream with these butterscotch hand-drawn looking circles all over it. I got this in Montreal over 15 years ago. And I think when I originally bought it, I was thinking of a home decor application. And then for some reason that didn't happen. And then the next time I pulled it out, I was thinking, oh, maybe a trench coat, that would be cool. And then that also didn't happen. So every time I've pulled this out, I've had an idea of what to do with it, and then something kind of stopped me. So I've been kind of waiting for the perfect thing. It also has a little bit of stretch to it, so that will add to the comfort factor. And I've always kind of thought that it would look neat with some kind of like piecing or seaming or angles or something like that that would intentionally maybe break up the circles a little bit. That might just be a fantastic idea in my head that does not translate in real life, but I'm willing to take a risk. The pattern I am thinking about for this is the Innis dress by Just Patterns. Delphine came out with this, I think, last summer, and I think it's such a stunning dress. It's so simple but impactful. It's a fit and flare dress that has this lovely kind of rounded square neckline. It's got skinny straps that I think will still cover a bra. And it's fitted through the bust and the waist, like to just above the waist. I think I saw a post on Instagram where Delphine had said that she designed this to be fitted through just up to above the waist so that it could flare out below it and allow you to eat and move. And so that checks all those boxes for me for this event. You can make this pattern out of so many different kinds of fabrics. You do need something with a little bit of body that holds its structure a bit, but anything from like a raw silk to a midweight linen to like this cotton sateen. Delphine has actually done one in denim with, I don't know if they're felled seams or if she just double top stitched each seam with a contrast thread. It has been living rent-free in my head for a year. So that a version like that might come later. But I also think it would really work with these circles. It is a lined dress as well. And I would want something like really lightweight for the lining. And I actually pulled out this. This is just a nude colored, butterscotch colored rayon challis that I have had for a long time, and I was actually intending to make a slip out of it because it matches my skin tone fairly well, but I could also use that to line this dress because even though it is a super light background, it's heavy enough that it is opaque, and I think that would be really breathable and comfortable, and rayon does kind of have a little bit of a give to it, so I think it would still be super comfortable. So those are my options. I have made a muslin of each of these because I still don't know which one I want to make more. I would not be surprised if I end up making both of these dresses and maybe just taking both of them and deciding on the day. I would like to not do that. I'd like to kind of just decide and not leave that confusion out there. And then I can always wear the other dress for my anniversary in October or something like that. So let me show you the muslins and the adjustments that I'm going to make to these patterns. All right, this is the muslin of the lark frock, and I am quite happy with it. So a few adjustments that I'm going to be making. I did a full bust adjustment prior to this muslin, and that was the only thing that I did. Lydia Naomi gives very clear instructions on how to do both full and small bust adjustments, so I just followed that. I do have a tension point that's happening right here, and I think that's happening for two reasons. One is this gathering under the bust starts kind of almost right under mine, and I think that's because I need to move the notch over. So when I did the full bust adjustment, it did move the notch that marks the beginning point of the gathering for under here, but I think because it starts a little bit too much under my bust, it's pulling the fabric this way, and I think if I redistribute that a little bit more toward the side seam, that's going to give me a little bit more space in here. Also, when I did that adjustment, I noticed on the pattern piece that it makes a fairly sharp curve in the arm side. I think if I smooth that out, that's going to give me about 1/4 of an inch more fabric there, which doesn't sound like very much, but I think it's going to be plenty to give me just a little bit of release on this tension point right here. So that takes care of this. I did the fisheye darts in the back, and I noticed that I need to take some length out of the kind of middle, like kind of lower upper back. I've got like I had my husband put 2 pins. I don't know if you can see those there, but there are 2 pins demarking how much I need to take out, and you'll see that like it buckles, and then when I take out that space, then it lies flat against my back. So my microphone is here, so hopefully you heard what I just said. Oh my God, it's so hot. So once I take that out, that's gonna be great. It is supposed to be fitted through the torso. This is a little bit more fitted than I would like it, so I'm gonna give myself, like 3/8 of an inch on each side, just to give myself a little bit more ease in there. And last thing is the hem. I'm very happy with this length. I would like it to be maybe 1/2 an inch longer finished, and this is unfinished. So I think the other thing is to add maybe 1.5 inches to the length. And with that, I think it'll be perfect. And I think it's gonna look so cute in that fabric. That is it for this one. I have got to get this off. I think I'm gonna pass out. I'm so hot in this thing. So let's move on to the innes dress. All right, now we have the innes dress. And I just want to take a moment to say that if you notice that my muslin of the lark frock was kind of falling apart around here, that is because I use water-soluble thread to make my muslins. So just the bobbin is water-soluble. And I do that because it just makes it easier to take things apart. I can often reuse some of the pieces either to make another muslin, or sometimes I can make a little tweak and make the muslin wearable. So that's why I do that. But I was sweating so much in the heat and that like toxic level of polyester that it started to melt some of the stitches. So that's why that was happening. Now, let's take in the innes dress. Now, this is too big, and I knew that it was going to be too big, and it's too big on purpose for a reason. So Delphine has a very extensive size range in Just Patterns, but her bust cup sizes only change at size 46 in European sizing. I can't remember what that corresponds to in North American sizing. But so I'm usually in her, the upper part of her lower size range. So I usually do like a 44, maybe with some adjustments. And 46 she has available in the B cup size range, which is the lower range. And then her D cup range starts at 46 and then goes up to like 60 or something like that. So if you're a size 46, you have a choice of what to make, whether it's a B cup or a D cup. I, for this pattern, was most concerned about fitting the bust. Princess seams are actually quite easy, or I find them quite easy to adjust and make full bust adjustments too. However, because this has so many panels, I was really concerned about getting the right kind of adjustment to try to upscale my normal size into a D cup. So I decided to go ahead and make a 46 in the D cup, and then anything else that needed to be adjusted in could be done fairly easily with just all of these straight seams. So I'm actually really happy with how this fits through the bust. So that's the back there. And so the only thing that I need to do, also the straps look skinnier than they are actually, because I made the mistake of thinking that the seam allowance around the neckline and the armholes was 3/8 of an inch. It's only 1/4. So these are actually going to be a little bit wider. And I'm also not wearing the type of bra that I would normally wear with this. So that's going to be fine. I'm just going to take in a little bit of the curve here. You can see that a little bit. So that's pretty much all that needs to be done for the bust, and that'll be perfect. And then, so this, it's really everything below that bust point that needs to be taken in, because also there's a little bit too much for the intended design. There's a kind of a lot of spread here. It does flare out, but not quite this much. So I'm just going to start maybe 2 inches below my bust, figure out what I need to take in there, which is probably like, it's about 2 inches on each side. But because there are so many panels, like I said, there are 7 in the front and 6 in the back. I think there are a total of 12 seams. So I'm just going to take whatever that measurement is, whether it's, 3 or 4 inches here, and I'm going to, from this point all the way down, take a little bit out of each panel. So that's probably going to end up being only somewhere between a 1/16 and an 1/8 of an inch on each side of each panel, and that will take in what I need for it to be more fitted under here, and then it will give me the kind of flare at the bottom that is intended. So this is really pretty, and I don't think I would change anything else about this other than taking it in. I love the length. I think the hem is like 1 inch, so it'd be like up to there, and I think this is just so pretty, and it's super comfortable. I mean, because this is a old cotton bedspread that I used as a muslin and doesn't have polyester in it. So that's it. Those are the muslins. One more adjustment that I forgot to mention, I am going to need to take up the shoulder straps a little bit, about 1 inch on each side. So that's not a big deal, and then it will be perfect. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to end this video here. My husband and I are going away for a few days, and I'm going to take that time to kind of mull over which dress I want to start with in case I only have time to make one. I am leaning toward the dark lark frock, but yeah, I'm going to take a few days to think about it. And I just want to say that I am not a fitting expert by any stretch of the imagination. I've found little tips and tricks along the way, and I am still learning with everything that I sew. So I hope that some of it is interesting and helpful maybe to some of you in terms of things to try. Let me know in the comments if that is the case. But just know that none of this is necessarily instructive. I'm just kind of letting you in on my process and my kind of trial and error to get perfect fitting clothes. Thank you again so much for joining me. Take great care of yourselves. I promise I will show you the finished projects on here, and I will see you in the next one.